Hey guys, and welcome to another cracking adventure. On this episode we're going to cover the Rovex Big Boss 8000, and we're going to show you how to maintain your reel properly to avoid saltwater corrosion. The first step will be to loosen your spool. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take a cloth and clean out the excess grease. The grease is still good in this reel, however once a month I try and remove it completely and make sure everything's cleaned. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cotton bud, dip it into some surgical alcohol, and try and get into that really hard to reach places. And then we're going to do the same on the bottom. Then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the little clamp that keeps your drag washers and bearings in place. Just pop it out. Then what I found is it's way easier to use a little screwdriver and pop your drag washers out from the back. Try and keep them in one pile so you don't confuse yourself with where it goes. Looking on the inside, I can see some carbon buildup from the carbon washers, so I'm going to clean it out and re-lube everything. This is also a good time to please remind you guys, like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the algorithm recognize us so more fine folks can find our videos. Once that's all cleaned, I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to grab the clicker. We have heard that the Rovex clickers can give some problems every now and again. So what I try and do is I really try and focus on lubing it properly. Get that all greased up and then pop it back into place. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my syringe and I'm just going to grease the inside to all that hard to reach places. Popping the clicker back. Then what I do is I remove my washers and drag washers and I place them in the order that they come out so I don't confuse myself with cleaning them, greasing them up and putting them back in place. Now all I'm doing is I'm applying grease and then popping them back in place one by one. On the carbon washers, I don't apply too much grease, but I don't leave it dry either. Once that's all done, I'm going to grab the washer and I'm going to grease that up nicely as well. Especially around the O-ring on the outside. It just helps it to seal a little bit better in its place. Once that's done, I pop back the clamp and then grease up the top side. So the only reason I apply that much grease on the inside there is it seals it a little bit better, as these reels are not waterproof. After that's done, I remove my gloves, replacing it with a pair of new ones and moving on to the next part of the reel. Firstly, I take a cloth and I clean off the excess grease. Then you've got a little plastic washer and a metal washer that just pops off. Just pull it slowly and it pops right off. You're going to have another bearing and an O-ring seal. And then on this part we've got a little split pin that you need to push from the one side to the other to get it out. And then once the split pin is removed, you can pop off the sleeve. Next, I'm going to take a little star and loosen the lock nut and then loosen the nut. Pop that out, and clean it once again. I really try and get into all that hard to reach places, making sure everything's nice and clean so there's no saltwater corrosion. Next, I test to see if the spool's working properly, and if it's clicking, I always just open it over here and see if there's any sand or grime and dirt that's stuck in there. I was pretty happy with opening it. It still looks good and clean, still nice and greased up. So I'll just pop it back in place and close the lid again. Next I move over to the last piece, removing the handle, spinning it counterclockwise, popping off that cap and then cleaning it out. Next I take my cotton bud and really try and get into that nooks and crannies inside the handle. There always appears to be a little bit of sand. Then I take the syringe and start greasing up again. Pop on the cap and screw back the handle. Doing the exact same over here, just cleaning out old grease and replacing it with new ones. On the rotating pin, cleaning the sleeve, popping that back, tightening the nut, make sure everything's spinning in order. Seems to work quite well, and replace your lock nut. Once that's all done, I'm going to loop up the rotating pin, reapply the sleeve, insert the little split pin, and then moving on. Take the little seal, little O-ring seal, clean that off nicely, apply it with a good layer of grease, the same with the bearing, put that on there, and then slide it back. Once in place, I take the little metal washer and the plastic washer, and that just slides over and clicks back into place. Final spin test, reapply the spool, tie it down, quick spin test, take a cloth and finish it off. Once that's done, do your drag test. Guys, once again, please remember, like and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm to recognize our channel so other fine folks can find our videos. Thanks for watching. Be safe.